All right. Try checking the live stream for me. All right. Try checking the.
It's playing.
Can you hear yourself? I mean, can you hear people in the trailer?
Hold on, let me unmute it. Hold on, let me Yeah, I can hear myself.
All right. Cool. Well, let's get started. So, basically, I have no idea how to do this. So bear with me if I do things a little slowly or if I explain things a little. Um, I mean, to if I don't explain things properly, please tell me. Please let me know if there's anything I can do better. Um,
Don't worry, we're just gonna stand here and just silently judge you.
aw. I'm hoping you guys will ask a lot of questions because otherwise I'm gonna have a nervous breakdown.
What is life?
Huh. All right. That's for another workshop.
Beautiful background, by the way.
So, thank you. I made that myself, actually.
Was that a 3D render?
Yeah, 3D and then a lot of painting in Photoshop.
Nice. What were you using, Blender?
3ds Max. All right, so I will have to figure out what to do. So my original idea was to do something like this with the Magic Circle Animation 04. That's because it shows a bit of hand animation frame by frame, and then it shows a bit of a process for doing post processing in After Effects. So that was the idea. And then we also kind of want to mix a bit of fire in there. So I don't know, I might just make it explode or something.
Exploding white magic. Brilliant.
I know, right? So, um, where to begin? Let's see. Oh, I made a I made a template. I think. Hang on. Yeah, with our lovely egg. All right. Well, let's get going. So I actually don't have any idea for what kind of effect I'm going to do. So I think I'll just straight ahead it. Um, I was thinking some kind of white uh of magic like.
And then the live stream blacked out.
Ah, is it still out?
Dave, the live stream blacked out.
Attempting to reconnect. Here we go. No, lost connection. Attempting to reconnect.
No, it's back.
Perfect stream.
Yeah, it's back now.
All right. Well, let me know if it goes out again, please. All right. So what I was thinking of doing was something like this with the circle going around the egg, and then I don't know, blowing it up or something. So let's begin. Right. So basically, the only thing I did here was I drew the egg and I attached my stage color to a light gray. That way, I can we can see the whites.
So, Dave, what's your normal process for a lot of things? Do you hand sketch?
Um, that's a good question. The thing is, I'm not really settled into a specific style yet. It's kind of interesting that I'm doing a workshop because I'm still learning myself. Um, so the past few times I've done this, I've just completely straight ahead at it without doing any without sketching it out first. Um, but I think I'll do a quick a very rough sketch thing of the animation to get the timing right, and then I'll make it pretty. Um, so yeah, new layer. Let's just add a few frames so I can have something to work with. All right, and I have my. Oh, hang on. I might have to change the screen. How do I do that? The live stream. I have two monitors, but it's pointing on my large monitor, but my Wacom tablet is set to my other monitor. Huh. Wait, I can just change my Wacom. Here we go. Mapping.
There should be a green, like little green boxes in the corners. And if you want to change the live stream to record your other one, just drag the green box over to the other monitor screen.
Right. Let's see. So what are you guys seeing now? Wait, where the green things disappeared? Sorry guys, it's the first time I'm using live stream as well.
We're seeing wherever your green box is showing. It's showing your...
Yeah, that's weird because my green box isn't anywhere.
That's not good.
It's down there. My green box. Huh. That's weird. Hang on. Just. Can I?
Well, it could be displaying at full screen, and that's why you're not seeing it.
No, I should be able to. No. Oh well.
Well, we are looking at your screen right now that has the live stream information on it and the audio mixer. Like we're seeing all of that right now.
Right, you're seeing this screen, right? Oh, I can see that down here. Ah, stupid me. Anyway, there. That's the screen I wanted to work on. Hang on. All right, so here we go, and here we are. Where? There. So this layer is egg, and this layer is sketch, and let's set the color to something we can clearly see. That's good. All right, so let me just jump ahead right into it. So basically, I just the first pass, I just go frame by frame, without timing it out. And I think it's not necessarily something you should take away from this, because if you want to do if you have a specific effect in mind that that needs to take so and so many frames, you don't want to. I mean, you want to time that out in before you jump into actually animating it. But for this purpose, I'm just gonna jump right in. So let's start with something like that. And turn on onion skins. So I'm gonna make something that swirls around the egg, and then dissipates. So, this is supposed to be on 2s. So, what I usually do is I set the frame rate down to 12 frames per second, and I'm pretty sure that's the wrong way to do it, but that works with my workflow right now. So, Zach, do you have a better way to do that? I mean, except just doing it on twos. Can you guys hear me? Hello.
No, it's actually it's a pretty smart way. If you set it to 12 frames per second, that way you're at least looking at it on twos. And then what you would do is after the whole thing is done, after everything is done, you'll set it back to 24, and then you'll go to each keyframe and you'll manually enter one extra frame in between each one.
Yeah, that's how I've been doing it. So that's great. That doesn't make any sense. Let's just lock this layer so I don't erase that. So something like that. Something like that. Ah, no more frames. Now, because this goes behind the egg, I'm gonna make a new layer behind the egg. Doesn't work. So it goes around. Let's clear out this keyframe. Still have anything showing there. All right. I apologize if I'm not making enough sound effects. I'm sure you're used to that from Zach's workshops. Ironically. Right, so let's turn this to so we can see what's going on behind it. I have to add a couple of frames here. Actually, let's turn this entire bottom layer a different color, just so we can see what's going behind the egg. Oh yeah, I should save this. Damn it. Turning on edit multiple frames so I can edit all of this and hiding that. Let's make that just a different color. All right, so now we can see everything going there, then it's going behind here. So I'm doing this very rough just to start with. Right, so let's add something more in front. Oh wait, I'm drawing on the wrong layer. That's not good. There we go. And this layer is locked. And I'm having way too many onion skins. There we go. So let's see how this works. Let's remove all these frames. Yeah, that's kind of boring, but it'll work. So let's take this, unlock that layer, and refine this a bit. So we want to get it to be thinner at the end and kind of dissipate. And now we ran out of keyframes, so let's just make this whole thing dissipate. So my workflow for dissipating is, let's see here. No. There we go. Is to grab, you can see these, this trail it's leaving behind. So I'm just, every time I see in the ghost frame that there was something before, I just draw something that is a little more chaotic and a little smaller, and eventually that kind of looks like it dissipates away. And let's see here. Should go a bit faster. So let's zoom in a bit. And set the brush size a bit down. And I'm just going back through the frames and trying to refine it a bit to get the look that I want. So kind of wanted to have like a pointy end. Be a little less sharp. So did anybody see any good movies lately?
Pacific Rim.
This isn't working.
I have not been to the theaters at all.
Okay, this is not working. Anyway.
I'm watching a good movie right now.
Is this a good movie? Are you watching something else?
Nah, I'm watching this.
Alright, that's not very pretty. So I usually have a lot of back and forth when I do this, because something won't work and then I change that, and then something else doesn't work and then I change that, and then I go back and forth until it kind of looks right. looks like I want it to. So there, let's dissipate that bit and make this a little thinner. Keep dissipating. Why does it suddenly become big there? We don't want that. Ah, ran out of frames again. So let's see how that looks. That's a bit better. This part here still needs some work. Let's see, that should become thinner here. Start dissipating. So when I dissipate, I usually, you know, I focus on just one or two of these thingies here, and then I go back and forth and see how that looks. Instead of doing it for the entire thing at once. Let's see here. Yeah, that's good enough for our purpose. So let's go to this thing here.
All I can say is, damn.
Yeah, guys, if you have any questions, please let me know. Or comments. Or anything.
The question I have probably would not come up until much later, but after you finish out the roughs, do you just go back over them again with, say, the brush tool, or do you actually go in and vector them or something like that?
So far I've just been using the brush tool and just getting them closer and closer to the shape that I want. But if for the final things that we are actually going to use in the show, I think maybe we should go through and picture them individually, each frame, and make them look nice. But yeah, I've just when I've been finishing up some these things and refining them, I've just been going through like I am now and just refining it until it looks like what I want. I think I'll just delete these. It's probably going to be easier just to redo them.
Well, one thing I want to make you guys aware of is that the way that David is doing this is that there's a couple key things that he's doing that all of you should take away from this. And one of them is through trial and error. He just goes forward with it. He starts drawing it, and he flips the page. He's flipping the frames to just see if it works. And if it doesn't work, he's not afraid to go ahead and scrap it, just kind of do it over again and then do it over again until it gets it right. That's the key to good animation. You have to have a lot of patience. You have to be able to do the same thing over and over again until it becomes right. And another thing that he's doing, which is very smart, is he's focusing on just one little area of it at a time. He focuses on the main fire or the main effect, and then he focuses on the little tiny elements here and there. He doesn't try to do everything perfect in one go for every frame. He's building the effect slowly over time, and that is how you do a really good special effect. It makes it look very dynamic. The third thing that he's doing really well is that he's using the eraser as a tool, not as a way to fix mistakes, but as a way to actually create negative space and more interesting looking vector shapes. He's using that eraser as a tool, and it's very smart. It's kind of like whenever you're doing charcoal drawings in art, and you're using the eraser to create white and negative space out of the solid 50% gray that you lay down with the charcoal. It's a very intelligent way of going about it, and it makes it a lot easier. It's a very smart way to do an effect, and I just wanted to point that out.
Now, Zach, explain to me one thing. You said before he was doing it on 12s and then he converts it up to 24. I thought we weren't supposed to be animating these things on 2s. What is the actual purpose of doing it on 12 frames per second?
No, you can animate it on 2s. Animating it on 2s is actually a great way to go about it. If you want to put it on 1s, like let's say we have a specific effect that we need to put on 1s, well, you just take what you did on 2s and you'll just in between it and make it a little smoother to work on 1s. But it really just depends on the effect. If you want something traveling very quickly over a very short period of time, you'd probably want to go 1s. If you have something that's more like this, a fire traveling around, you could probably get away with 2s on that. It really just depends on the situation and the shot in question.
Well, I mean, last time we were talking about effects, you were trying to hammer into our heads that you wanted it on 1s.
I think I was generalizing. Normally effects are done on 1s, but once again, it really does just depend on the situation and what the shot is calling for.
Ah, okay.
I have no idea why I'm doing all of the animation that goes behind the egg. That's kind of stupid. Anyway. Look at all this pretty animation.
It's looking pretty cool, though. It's looking really great. I really love the way that you go and you handle a...
The dissipation? I like that word. Dissipation.
It's not that stupid. I mean, it's just a better way. It's a way to make the effect feel a bit more, lifelike. And there's nothing wrong with that. I really love how you focus on the main animation first, and then you do the secondary animation second, which I like. I like how you separate the two.
Right. So now I have this. I could, we could refine it more.
Now, when do we get to blow it up?
We are getting there. Let's just do that. I need to animate this. I should put this on in a what's it called? A symbol. Let's put this in a symbol. Let's make it a button. No, I'm just kidding. Don't kill me, Zach. So, copy that. There. Back again. And let's place it
Button bonbon!
here. So, I don't remember how I did this last time. Hang on. Something about this going down there? That looks right. And then... Alright. Yeah. Keyframe. keyframe. Make this smaller than that. Right click, classic tween. Am I doing this right? Yeah, it looks like it. Let's ease this a bit. And let's blow it up. Let's call this.
Should there be anticipation?
Yeah, this is it. No, it's anticipating. I think. That's what I get for not being a character animator. This is how I did it last time, so I'm just kind of copying what I did. Streak front. Naming conventions, very important. And saving. Alright. So. Oh wait, where did the egg go? Where am I? Oh. So let's make a new layer with fire. Make that orange because fire is orange, as we all know. And oh, this is time to bring up a reference. So let's see. Skynamics, special effects, reference. Remember a good reference here. Weapon magic, fire magic, reference. Yeah, that looks good. So this is what I've been using as a reference. Not to match exactly, but you know, to get the movement right. So I'll take this on another screen. Oops. There we go. All right. Let's blow this up. I'm not gonna worry about the actual egg for now. Just kind of boom. Oh wait. Let's make this a keyframe and remove everything before this. So then it starts on the right frame. Alright, so an explosion, I guess that would go really quick in the beginning. So let's just make it this big. Actually, let's make it, instead of curves, let's make it really streaky like this. And zoom out a bit. So again, this is just a kind of sketch to get the timing right. And then it slows down. Make it so it covers everything. And maybe it should start to dissipate there. So now I'm keeping to these curves here I've made out here. I'm kind of turning those into to these circles, and then I'm dissipating from the inside. And I'm always making it rise a bit. So this should go a little higher, and this should as well. It should never go downwards. Always up. Alright, so now I have, I've kind of divided it into these areas of fire here. So I'm just gonna keep working on those and make them smaller and divide them into more areas until it's all gone. So let's make this smaller and still rising a bit. This smaller, still rising. And we have something here. This smaller, smaller. So and again, I'm going to go back over all of these frames and refine them. So let's see how that works. Oh right, we still have these things. These, I don't know what they're called. I'm just gonna remove all of these. These are too thick. I want to dissipate those.
Plume?
Blooms? What did you say?
I think I'm lagging behind because I think you're listening to the live stream's audio instead of the vent audio. But I think they're called plumes, the things that are coming off of there.
Are you sure I'm lagging? Because I'm not listening to the live stream. I'm listening to Ventrilo. I don't even have the live stream open on my end.
Unless you have really, really bad ping.
Live stream open.
Yeah, like unless your ping isn't possibly bad, then you should be 1-to-1 with us.
Are you listening to the live stream?
No, I'm listening to Vent.
That's
Yeah, no,
weird.
Dave, you're a good like 10 seconds behind all of us.
That's really weird.
But that's okay. That's life.
What?
And someone just went chipmunk.
Oh wait, now I haven't been concentrating. I'm not sure what I'm doing here. What was I doing again? All right. So let's see. See how this looks. Now that's too slow. We need to delete some frames. Let's remove this one. This one. Much better. Make this one look a bit more like an explosion. Now I'm gonna reverse my onion skin so I can see what comes next. So I can see these plumes. Let's say what we're called. That's still too slow. Maybe I should just remove this frame entirely. Or make it on once. But I'll do that later. Oops. Make more frames. So I'm gonna use a smaller brush to do these small things here. And keep moving them up ever so slightly. Hey guys, is this too small or can you see it on the live stream? Let me should I zoom in?
I mean, I have to go turn it on full screen to see all the detail, but once you have it on full screen, you're fine.
Alright. I was just wondering if it should turn on up the quality.
Then you'd be a full minute behind.
Ouch. Should I try restarting?
I think it's fine for right now.
All right.
No, I agree with Kyle. I think that this is perfect. This is enough to show us what your workflow is like and what it's like to do special effects animation. I think just go ahead and take it to the next step. And I guess the next step would be adding a second tone. So,
Yeah.
like smoke on top of the fire. How would you go about doing that?
I wouldn't add smoke on top of the fire, I would add it below. So let's make a new layer here. Let's call that smoke. And make that a dark gray. And a bigger brush. And I'm gonna use the fire here as a template for doing the smoke. So let's see. Fill in here all these gaps here. I might go back and expand those gaps so it's more visible, the smoke. Right. So I'll make sure it fills everything we can see here, just as the first pass. Oh wait, I'm doing all this on a single frame. That's not good. Oh well. I'm just gonna start from the beginning. Like, well, there. Alright, so now I'm filling in here. Oh, I need onion skins again. Let's see. Keep this. Keep that. Right, so now that the fire itself has been, spread out into these individual sections, I'm gonna do the same with the smoke, using the fire kind of like, a guide for where I should put the smoke, and keep a bit of it in here. So wherever there's fire, there's smoke. And again, it's always rising. So usually I'll do, when I have like a small plume of smoke here, I'll go forward and I'll just make this smaller and smaller, but keeping the upper boundary, but making it smaller from the bottom, so then it looks kind of like it's rising a bit, and then break it into some more pieces. Do the rest here. Now again, we would probably go back and vector all of this in a particular style, but this is just to, get the movement down and the explosion itself. We can worry about how it looks later. Let's follow the smoke. let's see how this looks. Cool. We could probably make it, a lot cleaner, especially with fire here. We could probably clean that up, but I'm not gonna bother right now. All right, so I'm gonna add another layer, another tone of, the very hot inside of the fire. What should we call that? Glow. That's just called. It's not actually glow. It's just I can come up with a better name right now. So let's see this stuff. Let's lock the other layers so I can see how this looks. I did it again. Smooth that over and move this. Right. So, and again, I'm gonna use the fire that I made before as a template for where this hot white stuff should go.
And just let me point out here that the reason why David's drawing this inner part of the fire in the first place is because he's actually taken the time to study the reference that we have. And in that reference, the fire does have an inner part to it. Yep. That's why I'm always telling you guys, the first thing I always tell you guys whenever you turn something in and it's wrong is, did you look at reference? Because it's through looking at reference that you would learn about stuff like this.
And it's kind of, it's a different style here, but
yep.
But it still has that, it has the glow, the inner white stuff that's following the flame here. So, and again, this is not very pretty, but bear with me. So. So if we went back here and vectored all this, this would be an explosion. But let's take this into After Effects now. Oh, and let's this egg here. Let's just color that as if it was blown up. Why can't I color this? Oh, it's a symbol. Hang on, can I duplicate a symbol? Duplicate a symbol? Oh, I can.
Yeah, if you right click on the symbol.
Oh, I could also I could just tint it. I think. Yeah, tint. Let's just make that gray. Stupid window. Right. So streak of something and then it blows up. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna export every layer here as its own .swift file. So I have the glow here. Let's do that first. Oh, I have to set all this to guide, don't I? guide, 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 guide. So now it's just the glow exploding. Let's save that. Oh, I forgot to make a new file. Let's call this like shop.
So, just to be clear, there's no easy way to say just have a plugin that, you know, exports every layer individually, right?
If there is, I want to know about it.
Not that I know of.
Ick. Explosion. Yeah. Uh, 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 uh.
I actually want to know about a plugin that turns a layer into a symbol.
That would be neat too. So you don't have to copy paste all the frames. Alright, anyway.
Yeah, actually you can just copy paste the layer, but even so, it's still like...
So from SAG I've learned that the way to export things from Flash is to hold Control down and press Enter. I don't know why that is. Zach, can you explain why that is? Instead of using the Publish button in the menu. Delay. Where did I put this? There we go.
That's just the shortcut, and it's the shortcut that does the exact same thing. I mean, hitting Control Enter does do the publish. It's just that's just the keyboard shortcut.
Yeah, but it solved some problems we had before, like elements disappearing and such. Anyway.
That's just the freaky nature of Flash.
Alright, anyway, here we have the glow alone. So let's call that explosion. White stuff. Let's unguide the fire and guide the glow. And now we have the fire alone. Let's call that fire and guide that. Unguide the smoke. Control Enter. Call that smoke. Unguide the first streak here. Guide the smoke. So that's the streak that goes streak front. And the back streak, back streak.
I'd probably advise putting numbers in those names. That way you know which one comes first and which one comes second and which one comes third.
Well, I kind of do that in my head. I mean, I know the white stuff comes up on top of the fire, but I might have to switch up the layering anyway inside After Effects. But yeah, that would probably be a good idea. Oops. Guide egg. Let's just have the egg. So explosion egg. Let's jump into After Effects. So that's fine. Yeah. Want to save that? And we have After Effects, and let's save the file just so we don't lose everything. So there we go. And I'm just gonna import all of that. There we go. Excuse me. So I'm gonna do a new composition, and we can just do this, make this any size we want. Let's see. Let's just make it HD. And give it a lot of frames to work with. All right, so we have the egg and the fire on top of the egg, and the smoke below the fire, and the streak back and streak front, and the white stuff. So now it's all inside After Effects. So I don't know how much everybody knows about After Effects, but what I just did was to make a composition. I made a project, and then I imported everything into the project, and then I made a new composition up here in composition, new composition, and that's basically
I know, zilch.
That's basically a single, like a video clip. So now we have everything inside of After Effects here. Now it's a bit too long, so I'm just gonna shorten it down a bit, and I do that by dragging this thing here over and holding down Shift, and then it snaps to the end of the flash files. So if guys, if you have any questions, please let me know, because I might skip something that seems obvious to me, but somebody who hasn't been using After Effects for a long time might not know how to do that. But yeah. So everything is in here. Now this is vector, but After Effects, when you import it into After Effects, it has a fixed size. So if you try to just click something here and scale it up, you'll see that it starts pixelating. And that's because After Effects is not treating it as a vector. It's converting it to a bitmap, and then it's using that bitmap to do its magic. But we can actually tell After Effects to use this as a vector. It's just a bit slower. So that's down here. To the right of the layer name, there are some ticks you can tick off here. That sounded wrong. But there's something here that looks kind of like a star, and that what it does is that it basically turns it into a vector. So let's just tick that for all of this, and you can see now the edge is sharp, and even if we scale it way up, it stays sharp. So that's good. Just make sure they are all ticked. And I'm gonna select all my layers and just scale them up a bit so we can see what's going on. And I'm not entirely happy with the scale of these streaks down here, so I'm going to select those two in the composition, in the layers here, and I'm going to scale those up individually a bit. So yeah, and we want the streak front to be in front of the egg, like that. All right. So the first thing I want to do is these colors are a bit boring, so I'm gonna color these. So let's see. This white stuff, that's fine, that's white. The fire, we might want to make that a different color. So let's do that. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add an effect that fills in all of this vector with a fill. So go to Effect, Generate, and choose Fill. And now we have this color picker over here, where we can just adjust the color. So that's good. Let's make it a slightly brighter orange. And the smoke, that's okay. And the streak, we want that to be another color. So let's do that some like it's our current magic. So that's kind of blue-ish. At least that's how I've been handling it. So with this selected, go to Effects, Generate, Fill. Actually, I'm gonna make this white, both of these, and I'll explain why in a second. Right, so now these two are white. What I want to do is I want to add an inner shadow that is the right color. So I'm going to layer styles, and that's just like in Photoshop or anything else that uses layer styles. So I could go with an inner shadow, but I'm doing an inner glow. So what that does is it doesn't show up in the effects panel over here, but it shows up in the layer options over here. So we have effects, transform, layer styles, and that's what we want. Blending options, inner glow, that's the one we want. And let's set the blending mode to normal, because we don't want it to be screen. Screen. And let's pick a color that is kind of bluish. I can't see. Go to a frame where it's more, bluish. Then increase the size a bit. So now we have this kind of cool inner, like it's white hot in the inside and then it cools down on the outside. So let's do the same thing with the. I wonder if you can copy blending styles. Nah, we'll just have to redo it. So go to the lower one and add layer styles, inner glow.
You could actually just copy the effect, and wouldn't that just take the layer style information with it?
No, because the effect isn't. The layer styles doesn't have anything to do with the effects and filters. It's kind of weird, but it doesn't show up as an effect, so you can't just copy it. It's on the layer itself. So this color here, let's copy this color. Just go into the color palette.
Yeah, weird.
And copy the color code. I'm not sure what that's called, but let's copy it. Go here, paste it. Now we have the same blue, and then we already set that to normal, so let's go back so we can see it and increase the size a bit. So now we have it colored a bit. Oh right, I forgot to. My bad. I forgot to set all the keyframes to 2s and set it to 24 frames per second. We should actually just have done that, but I think we can fix it in here. Let's see. "12 frames per second. Nah, that's too slow. 48.
Why not just double the frame rate to 48 if it's too slow?
Yeah, that was what I was thinking, but now I'm not sure if it's on twos, on fours, or what it is. Anyway, I'm just gonna keep it as it is. What we should have done is to into go into Flash. Let me just load that up for a second. Yeah, what we should have done is we should have gone in here and we should have moved all these over, and then that's how I do it. I usually move everything over and then move these back to one frame, 2 frames. I'm sure Zach is going to tell me a better way to do this, but yeah, I'm not gonna bother with it right now. This is fine. All right. So let's make this glow.
Yeah, Zach is. We'll have to talk about that later. That's just unrelated to this, but there's a much easier way of doing that.
Could you mention it now? Because that seems like it would be really useful.
Well, if you have the Janimation tools, all you have to do is hit the home key to select an entire column, and then just go F5, next frame, hit the home key, column, F5, next frame, hit the home key, F5. And you just do that, and it takes like 30 seconds, and bam, you put everything on twos.
All right, so do what Zachary just said. That's much easier. So, but let's add some glow to this.
Ah.
Oh, we should color the explosion too. So I want to do the same thing with the fire here. So go to layer. No, with the fire selected. Go to layer. Layer styles, inner glow. Open that up. Set the the blending mode to normal. Maybe turn up the opacity. Make the size a bit bigger. And then make this a kind of dark orange red thing. So now we have kind of a nice gradient. Yeah, but all of this this depends on what kind of style we're going for. But I'm just gonna do this for now. So now we should make all of this glow. So what I would usually do, I would duplicate the layer that I want to glow, and then I would go to Effect, Blur, Fast Blur, and I just blur it out. Oh, that's hard to see. Oh, that's because it's the black screen. Right, here we go. Blur it out. So now close. So I would rename this as black screen, a streak black glow, and duplicate this. And now I just copy pasted the effect from the glow layer down here. Just copy paste. There we go. And rename that to glow. And we want both of these to be set to screen. So that way it only overlays the light parts on the background. So we could if we change the background color of the composition by going to composition settings, here at the background, hang on, let me just move that out of the way, background, and set that to something darker, we can see the effect much more clearly. So yeah, now of course the smoke is too light, but we'll worry about that later. So let's make the white stuff glow. So duplicate that, And let's name that glow. And add a fast blur. Make that bigger. So that looks good. And maybe we will duplicate this layer again. Oh, by the way you duplicate a layer is just by pressing Control D. And like this. Or you can go to layer, and I'm sure you can duplicate it somewhere in here. Is it that edit? Edit, duplicate, Control D. So now we have a strong blur here. We might make that even more blurry or less blurry. I don't know. And let's do the same with the fire. Name it glow. And blur that out. Like that. Set it to screen just to be sure. And duplicate it. And maybe blur it out even more. And we could turn down the opacity a bit. In either case, you might want to mess with the opacity. So the way you do that is you select a layer and then you press T to bring up the opacity settings here. So something like that. All right. So let's see how that looks.
Another way that you can do it is just go into the transform part of the layer if you don't remember the shortcut, and you can find it there.
Right. So there we go, I guess. Yay! Now let's make the background something else.
Nice.
It is so pretty.
Woo!
Looks really
Sweat.
great.
So there we go. Maybe add some inner shadow to the smoke. Layer styles. Inner shadow. That's basically the same as inner glow, except it has a distance thingy here, but it's set to multiply instead of screen as default. So increase the size a bit. All right. So one final touch you could do is to we should go through peak composing. Hang on. All right, so this is a mess. Let's clean that up a bit. So I'm gonna select all of these down to streak front, but not including streak front. So now I have all the explosion with the glow and the smoke and everything, and I'm gonna pre-compose that into a new composition. So you go to layer, pre-compose down here, and then you have this dialog that comes up. Let's call that explosion. And whatever you do, sometimes it might have this option over here ticked, but you don't want that. You always want to move all the attributes into the new composition. So let's do that. And basically that's kind of like a layer in a folder. So you can take all these layers that is inside the explosion, and you can move those around, and copy it and move that in the timeline. So let's see, like this. Now we can't do the same with the streaks because those go in front and behind the egg. So if we move all of these into the same pre-composition, let's see here. then it would always be in front, always be in the back. But we could move all these into its own composition. So streak front and streak back. Now another thing we could do is we could add a bit of lighting effects to the ground where the egg is standing. So let's move this up a bit. So what I want to do is I want to add a glow to the ground beneath the egg when the explosion happens. So with nothing selected here, I'm going to go to in the toolbar over here and hold down the mouse on this rectangle thing here and choose ellipse tool. And then it's very important that you don't have a layer selected, because otherwise it's gonna make a mask. But let's, without anything selected, draw out an ellipse like this, somewhat. And we'll put this below everything and set that to a color like our explosion. And let's blur out. So effects, blur, fast blur, and something like this. And to make it, another thing you can do with fast blur is you can, if you go to the blur dimensions and choose horizontal or vertical, you get motion blur. So that's kind of cool. You can use that to do lens flares and stuff like that, but we are not going to. So let's just set that back. Maybe adjust the color a bit, like this. Now what we want to do is we want to animate the glow to fit our animation here. So let's go here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna animate the opacity. Let's set this to add and go to hang on. Yeah, let's press T to bring up the opacity. And we have this stopwatch over here. And what that does is if you click on it, it enables the animation. So it creates a new keyframe wherever we have this the scrubber thingy. So let's zoom in a bit. If you hold Alt and scroll, it zooms in on the timeline. So let's see. Here we want it to be the opacity to be a 0, so we just turn the opacity down, and it automatically creates a keyframe. So there we have the glow, and it goes away. So here we want it to be at 0 again. So there you have glow on the floor. And we could do the same with the other magic. Let's see. Duplicate this layer and press T to bring up the opacity. And I'm just gonna move these keyframes over to here. I'm gonna move this 0 keyframe over a bit away, and do like this. Maybe we want this to be at 100 too, so it's kind of more sustained. So there we go. And change the color over here to match this. And yeah, let's make the opacity a bit less, like this. All right. So let's see the end result at full screen. Now, the thing is with After Effects, you have to let it render all your frames before you can view it. Now that's just how it is. Someone say something funny.
A nun, a priest, and a rabbi. Hmm.
An Irishman leaves the bar.
An egg walks into the bar and blows up constantly.
Just about there.
Now, Dave, wouldn't there be like a glow going across the egg to compensate for the lighting coming off the special effect?
Yeah, that probably would. Are you talking about the explosion or the streak?
Mainly the streak, because the explosion kind of covers up everything anyway. I'm talking more about like the streak. Like you see the glow on the bottom, but you don't see any lighting effects on the egg itself.
Yeah, what we could do is we could. Let's see. We have the egg right here, so let's try and duplicate the egg layer and add a fill to this. Or a Alright, no, I'm gonna do something else. Let's see, we have our egg here. So I'm gonna make a new layer with a gradient. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a layer new solid, and that's basically what that is. It's basically just a solid color that we could do with what we want. So let's add an effects and generate a ramp. So now we have this gradient. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move the let's call this egg light. Move this down here, and then we have the egg here, and we're gonna duplicate that. And the reason is that we're gonna use this as a mask to mask out the gradient here. So I'm gonna move this on top of the egg light layer and call this egg light mask. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the egg light layer, and I'm going to tell this layer to use whatever layer is on top of it as a mask. So I'm going to do, and that's called a track mat. So let's see, mode, that's the blending mode, and here's the track mat. And if you don't have these, maybe when you install After Effects, these options don't show up. But just right click up here and go to columns and make sure that you have all these, the parent modes, switches, all of these turned on. So yeah, egg light, track mat. That's what we're gonna do is we're gonna set that to alpha mat to egg light mask. Let's see, was that right? Yeah, that's right. So, and now we are gonna select the ramp effect, and we can choose where the ramp goes from and to. So let's move this in down there and this up here, and make this black, and make this a bluish color. do like this. And then now I'm gonna set this to no, actually I'm gonna make this one white, because now what we can do is we can set this to multiply, I think. Oh right, we still have to turn this on. So turn on the layer below, and I'm gonna turn the opacity down a bit. But now we have a bit of lighting on the egg. So yeah, and we of course we're gonna animate the keyframes. So turn that to, let's say, 30 and 0 when it starts here. And now because it goes behind, we're gonna turn this to 0 again. So I don't know if that's what you meant, but there we go. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, I'm not sure how that works, how well that works, but well. Now I could do masks in After Effects as well. So yeah, now all of this background, that is completely transparent. So if you were to render out a PNG sequence right now, all of this blue grayish thing in the background, that would be transparent. So just to make sure we have the right colors that we want, I'm gonna make a new layer, a new solid, and I'm just gonna choose some light gray and make that, and put that in background and call that background. So now we are sure that everything up behind the egg is being lit properly. So yeah. I guess that's it. Does anybody have any questions? Damn, time lag.
What would be a good way to do backlighting?
Backlighting?
Yeah, where like there's a little bit of light on the sides. Rim lighting, I guess.
Yeah, let's try to do something like that. I'm gonna make
he means rim lighting. So now we're kind of diving a bit into the whole lighting thing, and we're going to do a lighting workshop for you guys eventually. Matt Margerson's going to host that one. That's more of his thing. I'd rather go ahead and limit this workshop to just special effects.
All right.
So
I was going to show
yeah. So we'll hold off on lighting for now. This is just more special effects. How David approaches special effects and how does he light his special effects. That's really awesome. I think that, David, you did a damn good job, and it's freaking sweet. And even I learned a couple things about After Effects that I never knew before. This is pretty great.
Cool. Yeah. Well,
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
I was just going to show what Matthew would have done, but yeah, we can just do that at a different workshop. So I guess that's it.
All I can say is amazing.
Let's do this full screen again. All right, so let's just go through one final thing.
Yeah, no, that's pretty much it. Does anyone have any other questions for Dave as far as, animating effects goes, or do we all feel pretty confident?
No, my only concern would be if we were doing effects in a shot, would it be okay to have the shot lowered down to 12 FPS, do those effects, and then scale them up to 24 frames again? Or would that just be a bit of a hassle?
it really depends on you and whether or not you want to go through that hassle. If going through that hassle makes things easier for you, then by all means go ahead. As long as when you turn that in, it's back at 24. There's no way I'll allow you to turn anything in that is not set to 24.
All right. Anyway,
Okay.
I'm gonna show what I would do to get all of this out of After
Well, that's pretty much it. Thanks a lot, David. Man, this is fantastic. Go ahead and cut it off and save it, and it'll be up there on our live stream for everyone to watch.
No, Zach, I want to show one more thing. All right, so to render this out as a video, just go to Composition, Add to Render Queue, and now we have this panel down here that's called the Render Queue. And
That's okay. Yeah, go ahead.
And go to distracting. Right. So we have this composition in the render queue. So what we're going to do is we're going to choose a file to export to. So choose output to and click on that. And let's workshop explosion. And save that. And now we're going to click on this orange thing here that says lossless, because then we can edit the format. So what I usually do is I go to H264, and that creates a .mp4 file. So I'd go to format options and adjust my bitrate. So usually this depends on how large how big of a resolution you have. If you have a bigger resolution, you want a higher bitrate just to accommodate all the extra data that has to stream through. But usually I just set it to 15 or 20 or something like that, especially for ordinary HD. So go there. And you could also go to QuickTime and go to Format Options and select H264 and use the quality slider here. But I'm just used to the other thing, so that's what I do. I don't know if Zach wants it in .mov format or in .mp4, but this is how I've been turning things in. So press OK and hit render. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
David, there's something about the MP4 files is that they don't allow an alpha channel, so you wouldn't be able to render these out and put it inside a shot, for example.
Yeah, but you wouldn't want to do that in a video format anyway. If you want to...
Yeah, wouldn't you have to render these out as image sequences for it to be able to be layered onto top of another shot?
No, you can actually just render it out as a .mov with an RGB plus alpha.
Yeah,
then it would come out with no background and effect.
Yeah, but you don't want to do that. You want to go to output module and render it out as a PNG sequence. Because if you render it out as a
Yeah.
format, you
All right. Hang on. This is all cool and everything. It's nice to learn about rendering and about all this stuff.
Yeah, we're just gonna leave it at that. Press render and you're done. Right. So I think that.
Okay, but here's what I'm going to say. This is a completely different beast. This is rendering, and this is not a rendering workshop. This is a special effects workshop. Yeah, we are done with special effects. Unless there are any other questions for David regarding special effects, then we're done.
Yeah.
No, I think we got it.
Huge delay.
Yeah, the questions that I have is because like I missed the first part of the workshop, so you're just gonna have to watch that. So I'm cool.
Alrighty then. I'm just gonna stop the workshop now. Stop the live stream. All right.